Hey everybody, Sean here, Boosted Miata. So today I want to focus on fixing my oil leaks in the motor because I'm desperate to get this car back on the road. I thought what I'd do is, while I had the motor out, is go through a few things and come up with a list of things I want to do. But I don't want the list to be too extensive. I don't want to go too crazy because I just rebuilt the motor. And I really am desperate to get this car running. I miss driving it so much. I can't tell you how much I miss it. So given that, I really want to get back on the road with this car. So I'm trying to keep my punch list really short. And here it is. Essentially came up with like 5 things I want to do. I may come up with a few more, but these are the key things. You can see on this punch list I've got my coolant reroute, I've got motor mounts, and the turbo downpipe studs. That's the exhaust part of the turbo that goes to the downpipe. Fix the oil leaks. That's what we're going to be focusing on tonight. I'll do as much as I can. I'll probably come back tomorrow morning. And then finally, my last thing on the back here is fix the VVT. The VVT on this motor isn't working. I was getting a VVT error, and it's probably because the VVT gear I have is bad, because I borrowed it off another motor that was just sitting in the shop without inspecting it, thinking, it's got to work. These things never break. That is my list, and I think it's time to get started on this motor. So come on. Let's flip this bitch. Ooh. Okay. Make sure I get my hole lined up so I can put my bolt back in here. All right, she's flipped. So these are 10 millimeter heads on these. So I got to pull out all these. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 little 10 millimeter hex head screws. We got to pull this off, and it's on there pretty good. Now you just want to double check, make sure you get everything out before you start yanking on it. So what I like to do, I give it a quick, grab my handy BFH, and give it a little tap. Not too hard, just a little love tap. And then grab yourself a pretty big, wide screwdriver. And at the, you can see here, I don't know if you can see it, but at the, where the back of the engine, where the pan meets the block, there's like this little separation, and you can just pop it. It's already really loose, actually. Oh geez, what was that? Something just flew away. I hope that wasn't important. Anyway, so off it comes. Uh-oh. Ah, missed a screw. There was a time I would have fought with that for hours before I realized I had a screw still in there. All right, so off she comes, and there she is. So this windage tray has to come off. There's the oil pickup tube is attached with 2 10 millimeters, and then there's a 10 millimeter hex. And this should pop right off. Come on. There we go. Ah, boy. I think that's what it's called, the windage tray. So I got to get all this off here. All that's got to come off, get cleaned up. So here's the rear main seal. That's got to be replaced. And then this housing that the rear main seal goes into, that attaches right here, it's got these 4 bolts that attach it. That's going to come off as well. All right, so it's the next day or a few days later. I've been sick, and I haven't been able to get back to the motor to work on the motor. And I'm really excited about getting it back together, but I'm running into little issues. One issue that actually, I'm glad I discovered it, because it would have been a disaster if I put the motor back together and this issue still existed, because it definitely would have leaked, because this is the problem. You see this housing here that holds the rear main seal that goes over the bearing surface of the crank. This little deal was my problem, and I'll show you why. The back of it has two registration pins or dowels, right, that sit in here. There's one right here, and there's not the other. It's missing. That one is gone. So when I assembled the engine, I must have just not have been thinking and just put it on like, oh, it fits. Everything's great, and I just put all the screws in. And of course, this is the side that was leaking because this was not mated to the block surface correctly. So it was a problem, and it leaked. So for tonight and for the rest of this video, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up this surface, do the scrape job with my putty knife, which I have here. I'll go ahead and just scrape this all down. So back on the motor today, I actually took a break because I was really sick for a while, and I actually had to wait on some parts to get here. I had to order a alignment dowel for the rear main seal housing that goes on the block that holds the rear main seal. I had to order a dowel, and that took forever to get, and I need some gaskets and various things. So let me show you what's going on. Do you remember the rear main housing that goes here, that holds the rear main seal? That's this thing here. Goes right on there, holds the rear main seal. So that was missing a dowel. The dowel right there was gone. I had to order a new one. Ordered a couple actually. So I got that. So that's good to go. I got a new rear main seal. And I actually got, I've never used one of these before. I've done several of these, and I didn't realize there's actually a gasket that goes here, which makes perfect sense, which is cool, which I'll use because I've had nothing but leaking problems with every motor I've assembled for some reason. I don't know. I just have the worst luck with getting the oil to seal up at the rear main. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up the bottom end. I'm going to get all cleaned up. I'm going to put the oil pan gaskets in there. I'm going to get the oil pan on, get the rear main seal on, all that cool stuff. Get that done, and then I can flip this motor over and get busy on other stuff. So let me get that going. So before I seal this thing up, one of the things I wanted to do is check it really quick and make sure that there's no crap inside. Because, you know, inevitably debris falls inside, and I can see there's little specks, I don't know if you can see them, but there's little specks of gray RTV in there. That's that sealant stuff. Inevitably, that gets on these things. So I'm going to have to go in there. I guess I'll get a Q-tip. I don't know. I think I'll get a Q-tip and pull that stuff out. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rear main seal in. Alright, that's done. Alright, so we're ready to install the baffle plate, or the windage tray. I don't know what people call this thing. I guess it's the windage tray. Windage tray. Yeah, that's because I got the lines there. Wait, huh? Like that. Okay, so oil pan is on. It's all sealed up. All the gaskets are in. Everything looks great. I torqued everything down. Camera just died a few minutes ago, so you missed all that exciting stuff. But everything's on. Everything's looking good. I got a nice bead of RTV coming out, which is what you want. And it looks great. So I've got other things going on. Let me grab the camera off of here. So here are my other projects that I still want to get to while I have the engine out. I got a coolant reroute. I got my motor mounts to do. I got the turbo downpipe studs, which are done actually. I did those. They're right here. So they're done. I got new studs in there. They look great. So those should be good. And fix oil leaks. We just did that. The VVT, that is something I'm working on shortly. So this is the original VVT gear off the exhaust cam, or I'm sorry, the intake cam, and here are the VVT pieces. So I'm going to take the VVT off the head that's on there now and combine with this one. I should be able to rebuild it. So that's a project that's probably going to be one of the last things I do. The coolant reroute. So I bought a bunch of little things from BG. This is all my coolant reroute stuff. And let's see, I've got my motor mounts. So check it out. So Miata motor mounts are notoriously weak when you have a high power engine in the car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adapt these mounts here. These round, hold on. Ugh. This mount here, I'm going to adapt it because this is a stiffer mount. This comes off another car. And if it works, I'll let everyone know what it is and we'll figure all that stuff out and I'll put links in. But we'll see. That's for another time, another project. But I'm excited about doing that. What else do I got going on? Oh, actually, I got a new O2 sensor that I'll be putting in. This is a wideband sensor. I think my current sensor got hosed. I think it got, the wires got cut somehow. It's not working right. This is a kit for my transmission. This is a boot, a dust boot for the tunnel, and another dust boot in here for the transmission itself, where the shifter goes. And then for the shifter, I have a new bushing to kind of do a shifter rebuild, just a quick and dirty shifter rebuild. And what else I got going on? That's it. That's enough. Ugh. And what is my goal for getting the car on the road, you ask? Well, the goal is to get it on the road. What is today? I'm shooting this on October 17th. And I'd like to have the car done first week in November. There's a meet over on Treasure Island, Blake's Garage, the guy who does Blake's Garage. He's doing a meet and greet over there. Kind of a food drive for Thanksgiving on Treasure Island here in San Francisco. So I'd like to go over there and kind of check that out. And I'd like to bring my car if I can, but we'll see. You know, I can only do what I can do. Thanks a lot, guys, for checking out the channel and watching this video today. If you like it, please like it. If you have any comments, questions, complaints, whatever, why don't you make a comment down below? I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you like the channel, please subscribe and watch my updates. I got more coming pretty soon. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.